Good day, everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope, and a new Nigeria is possible. Now, good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today, we have come again to have discussion on what is happening in Nigeria. As you know, earlier today, all journalists, even as at yesterday, were barred from entering the Senate building, and the reasons has arisen. The issues are coming out, is being exposed right there in the Senate of 42 billion naira that was expended on the Senate chambers that is not easily open for people to see. Now, the journalists are barred not to go inside so that they can be able to find out all of those things. We are going to bring that. And we are also going to bring you the picketing that happened, a massive protest coming out from journalists because they are hitting back and forth on photojournalism. They are hitting back on everybody who is talking about Tinubu and his administration is all being hit at this very time. So the CSOs, journalists converged in Abuja, and they all made it very clear that they are in one accord that journalists who have been detained should be released. The ones who are barred from entering into the Senate and the National Assembly should be allowed, or reasons be told. But we are now going to go into the explanation of all the exposed what happened. The chief whip of the Senate, which is Senator Ali Ndume, has voiced strong criticism regarding the recent renovation of the Senate chamber, expressing dissatisfaction with various aspects of the refurbishment. Despite a staggering expenditure of 42 billion on the project, Ndume highlighted several deficiencies during a plenary session just yesterday. Ndume lamented that despite the hefty investment from Nigerian taxpayers, the quality innovation was very poor. He emphasized that the chamber, which serves as a pivotal space for legislative proceedings, fell short of expectations. Ndume also said that, in quote, not a chamber, it is like a conference room. And this we can see that is part of the things that happened when they were rejecting their seats at the day when they resumed. There was was inside that very Senate as at that very time. But now we see the reasons why they don't want so many media and journalists to go in there to showcase the fact that Nigerians' 42 billion naira was expended on a renovation, not building of a Senate building. His discontent, anyway, extended to the seating arrangement, and he pointed out that the discomfort experienced by senators. He said, the sitting row requires correction. If you want to stand up, you will have to use tactics or strategy, he quoted. And furthermore, Ndume underscored the absence of essential electronic devices for voting, a crucial component for effective legislative process. There is no voting device here, he lamented. The facilities are not there, he stated. In addition to the lack of e-voting equipment, Ndume criticized the inadequate audio system within the chamber. He noted that all what they have, that the speakers even fail to amplify the voices of the lawmakers effectively, leading to echoes during discussion. He said that this is a serious observation, that the audio is supposed to be very clear. Addressing the issue, of course, as we know, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, attributed the shortcomings to previous Senate leadership, the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA, which managed the renovation contract. Akpabio acknowledged this affection expressed by Ndume and emphasized the need to channel complaint to FCDA. Now, coming back to the studio, I have my wonderful people in the studio here. Divine is here, and also have the wonderful Peace.
Thank you for joining us on today's live broadcast. We're so glad to have you.
Obidient worldwide, I greet you now. Now welcome once again.
Yes, these grievances being expressed by Ndume is like an expose on what, recall that most of the senators are running away from even going into not just even the mainstream media, but going on social media to express their concerns on what is happening in the Senate. Right. They have been gagged, practically. Recall also that one of the senators ran away when he was on a Rise interview and said he does not want to enter into trouble. So they have actually learned a lesson from the suspension of Ningi, and nobody wants to speak up. But I actually, applaud the courage of Ndume to cite this. But my question is, 42 billion naira. This is the first time we are hearing that very little arrangement of chairs inside the Senate is costing Nigerian taxpayers 42 billion. 42. Not million, but billion. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I just want to start by saying I don't think Senator Ali Ndume is particularly saying anything because he's patriotic. After all, he was the person that came out to tell us that all animals are not equal when we're referring to the whole budget padding allegations with Ningi. I think he's just doing it because maybe he hasn't gotten his own share of the money that he was meant to get to cover up. I don't think he's saying it because he wants to be patriotic. The truth is he probably hasn't just gotten his own fair share of the money, and that is why he's keeping quiet, because I don't see it as a patriotic act. If he was trying to be patriotic from the day one, Nigerians should have known about this 42 billion naira. The only reason why we're hearing about this now last minute is because he is not, satisfied with the standard of work that was being done. And as usual, Senator Godswill Akpabio has shifted blame. He said it's to the last assembly, the people who were in the last assembly and the Federal Capital Development Authority. So I just think it's insane that we have 42 billion naira earmarked for a renovation and not even the building of a new Senate committee building and all of that. So I just think they are here to just take taxpayers' money.
In other words, you suspect foul play here.
Exactly.
And suspecting foul play means by him raising his voice that far, then they can also come and grease his palms or probably send prayers to his mailbox.
Exactly. Emphasis on prayers to his mailbox.
Emphasis to the distance on his mailbox. Now you don't hear this very thing when we say it don't happen. You know, so they like make our people know say now their money and then they chop, and when they get to their own constituency, they know they ask their senators the question where they arrive. Because this thing where they talk now, the thing they say they no go. Then if to say they know say their hand no day inside them for don't talk, and this 10th Senate for don't talk. Exactly. Sure, you understand what I mean? Exactly. Now, what do you think say the people will be say then send them go this Senate where then they go, when they hear all this money 42 billion where then take put only chair, microphone no work well, the thing where they take do voting for inside Senate no work well, everything where this man they talk for there no work well. Make we look the other one of greasing palm. What do you think say they are constrained? People will send them for that place. How they go feel about them?
Mr. Kanu, they'll definitely feel bad because this is unconstitutional. Everything about Tinubu and in government must come, as we all know. And we know say their government are just to come and milk people of their hard-earned money. So they would definitely feel bad because these are people you put in power and you expect them to they do things, make things they go well. But they get there, all they do is may they just collect the one way the poor masses get, add to the one way they get. They don't even care. And we keep doing the same thing, we keep doing the same thing, we keep talking, and yet nothing is done. So I just feel like APC and their government and everything are just scam, and they are full of corruption and evil. So that's all I have to say. Okay.
Again, Divine, back to you. Looking at, I understand where you're coming from about Ndume is not doing this just to make Nigerians feel okay but the fact is, it is okay when somebody speaks up about this. And I want you to look at the intent, what we are trying to make people understand. As at yesterday and today, journalists, photojournalists, and some TV stations were not allowed to go into this very place. Right. And one of the reasons that we found through our investigations is that they don't want them to find out that these things were actually happening. You understand? If not, it would have been on video and all of these things that are being said.
Right. The point is, I think there's an effort on the part of this particular government to maim the media, because I think we're in a democracy, right, and people should be allowed to speak their mind. So the fact that they are even choosing the amount of people or these TV stations they will let in is already scary, because it's only a matter of time till the number keeps going lower and lower, and then one day wake up and they will decide that, you know what, we want to hold our sessions in private. So it is particularly bad. It is good for the fact that Ndume actually got to have Nigerians talking about this, but the truth is, assuming they were allowed, like you rightly raised, to probably would have gotten a video to tell us exactly what he was saying. Right now we're just getting reports based on what is being written. We need to see exactly what is happening in Nigeria's upper legislative house, so that we know what exactly it is that they are talking about, the laws they are making, and exactly what they are doing with taxpayers' money.
Well, I think we'll keep looking at what is happening in the Senate, and we're going to point out, trying to identify the people who actually handle the contracts of this 42 billion naira, and see what are the contents of that very contract, and what is being done at the Senate. We will go deeper into the matter. But talking about the mentioned Chief Bola Tinubu's administration, it has escalated war against journalists, and that is unbecoming, in rising violation of democratic tenets. Now, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio again yesterday barred more than 10 television stations and photojournalists from covering the proceedings of the chamber without explanation. And that is what we are bringing, that explanation here. That scam that went in, a 42 billion naira explanation, is what they need to give to Nigerians. In another sign of autocracy under Chief Bola Tinubu's administration, this very administration has harassed, detained without trial at least 2 journalists in the past 7 weeks alone. Both chambers of the National Assembly, which is the National Assembly, both the Senate and the House of Representatives, are controlled by Chief Bola Tinubu's political party, the APC. That we know. Now, ironically, Tinubu himself is a media operator, being the owner of the nation's newspaper and television Continental, which is the TVC. Regardless, Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project set up in August of 2023 alerted the public to the dangers of Tinubu banning 25 journalists and media houses from covering the Aso Villa, and urged him to reverse the unlawful ban. Nobody followed suit. Nobody paid attention. And all of these have started. The manifestation of that action is what we are seeing today. The media outlet banned include the Galaxy TV, the Ben TV, MITV, ITV Abuja, Prompt News, ONTV, and Liberty TV, and many, many more of these. Now, further on, in September of 2023, a much-ranking journalist that we know that has been in different of our program, David Hundeyin, alleged before the United Nations Human Rights Council that Chief Tinubu's henchmen were taking steps to abduct him from Ghana, where he is on asylum. Though it's an allegation, but then we know what follows suit, we know what can be done. Hundeyin fled Nigeria to Ghana in 2020 and was granted asylum and refuge status in 2022, and has alleged that Chief Tinubu is using security intelligence to mount pressure on the Ghanaian government to repatriate him to Nigeria and get him here. Well, all of this might sound like allegations coming from Hundeyin, but we are talking about journalists here. We are talking about people who report the things that happen in our nation, the people who expose certain things and thereby making the government to be more democratic. That is what we are talking about. But we keep on our eyes open, keep our ears and every other reports coming in, so that we'll bring you more on this very developing story. Now, let's take another of the stories that we have today, which has to deal with the crisis that is rocking the Rivers State Assembly. Right. Rivers State Assembly, we know that another function, that is the Pro-Fubara function, has already resumed. I presume it's because of the threats to impeach him, you understand?
Right.
So he has to establish his own that is going to protect him,
Exactly.
which is a right thing to go at this moment. But before we go into that, this thing, because there is some of the videos that we have coming out from there, before we enter that, I seriously think that journalists, still on these journalists to consider certain actions to be taken against the National Assembly and much more light to be thrown on this administration is very, very important. I learned about one journalist that had to resign his position as a managing editor of a certain newspaper just because he published a report on chief of staff to the president, to the Chief Bola Tinubu, and then they apologized. Him feeling that shouldn't be it, he resigned his appointment. So I think that journalists particularly should pay much attention to expose certain things that the government is doing that is wrong. Of course, promote the ones that they are doing that is actually okay, you understand? So that these things will come. But while on this, a thought just came before I go to this River State crisis that is rocking, and I feel I should share this. It has to deal with this chogri of a man, the high tech that is actually holding this contract, because that one goes on trillion. About 13 or 15 trillion is a mark for that coastal road. You understand? And I keep bringing this up for Nigerians to know that they can't finish this project even in the next 10 years. And somebody is going to make so much money off Nigerians, like this Chogri group.
Right.
And this the return of the Lebanese brothers as as brought by one of our own, Chidi Kanu. He said these Lebanese brothers were pursued out of Nigeria by the then president Olusegun Obasanjo. Now, President Goodluck Jonathan brought them back again during his tenure. Then, when President Buhari entered, he sent them packing again, these same Lebanese brothers. But then, Chief Bola Tinubu came back and has brought them back. And this same man that is now handling a major, the biggest project in this very time in Nigeria. This one, the net worth of this man has to be around 4.5 billion US dollars, according to Forbes, by the reports that we read. This Gilbert Chogri is the fourth richest Nigerian. Now, though he is no longer resident in Nigeria, but over 50% of his income comes from Nigeria and West Africa. This Gilbert Chogri was a special advisor to General Sani Abacha by history that we have read. Even New York Times called him Abacha's fixer. In 2004, this same Nuhu Ribadu said that Gilbert Chogri was the conduit pipe through which Abacha laundered his money. This same Nuhu Ribadu is the person in charge now, and say allow this man to take up a very huge 13 to 15 trillion contract of a coastal road in Nigeria. Abuja awarded him the construction of National Assembly Complex in Abuja 1, the Nigerian Defense Academy and State Security Headquarters in Abuja 2. In 1998, as reports that we have, he was one of the largest financial supporters of Chief Bola Tinubu during the Lagos gubernatorial election. And he has been a long-time business partner of Chief Bola Tinubu. In fact, from the stories that are coming and reports coming in from off the net, Tinubu's son Sheyi is a director in the billion-dollar Chogri Group. Yes, it's a known fact. When we saw the pictures of Chief Bola Tinubu and Gilbert Chogri in France before and after the election, something was about to go down. That was very obvious. Now, Chief Bola Tinubu has awarded him a 13 to 15 billion Lagos to Calabar coastal highway contract through his company High Tech. A country with poor internal roads is investing 13 billion on coastal highway. Is it trillion or billion?
It's $13 billion and 15 trillion.
Yes. Thank you. And my guess is that such a project is easier to pay for and then abandoned. Bola Tinubu might be compensating him for something with Nigerian resources. Well, as Chidi Kanu puts it, only a fool would believe the project will be completed. Go to the comment section. Tell us whether you believe that this project will be completed in 8 years. Chidi Kanu says so, and I believe him. Only a fool will believe it will be completed. But we are alive and we are not going to die. We are in Nigeria. We are going to watch and see what will happen. Mark this day that we have come about. Now, I don't want us to dwell too much. We have said so much about this coastal highway, right. But then there are implications on business why we keep mentioning it. Mm-hmm. And those businesses that are affected are businesses that Nigerians spend so much money to build, right. And now those businesses are being, pushed down. Yeah. Let's even take a listen to one of the interviews that was granted by the Landmark Group, where this Chogri is pressing down a multi-billion naira business that has been prospering each year in Nigeria. That is what we are talking about. Let's take a listen from this, and then we'll come back and talk about the rivers crisis.
The beach, and the government haven't developed any of the beaches.
Okay, so the private individuals develop this beach, make it very beautiful, and
yes,
it's okay.
Yeah. We've probably put 6 billion naira in.
Just developing it to look this nice.
Yeah, and can you imagine the infrastructure you don't see? The water, the power, the sewage, the internet. So, and all that's underground, and that's in marine conditions and marine environments. So, there's a 6 billion naira bill here, it's over $10 million.
Yeah.
And the government hasn't, and this is a beach that's 1 kilometer long. So imagine if you had to do that for the 236 kilometers of Lagos beaches.
Entrepreneurs will definitely change the world.
We get about 20,000 people within this ecosystem every single week.
20,000 people visit the landmark every week.
We get approximately 20,000 people here every week.
Is that excluding of when you have like massive events? Because I know you have an event center that's quite popular.
Exclusive events.
How much is the ticket in here again?
So the ticket, it ranges from 2,500.
All right. Yeah. You can do the math.
Yeah. I took a helicopter ride in 2008 and looked around Lagos for a piece of land to buy. I looked at the bustling business district of Victoria Island, looked at the growing sort of residential corridor of Lekki, and I thought to myself from the air, I looked at this area and I thought, what is this? There's an area completely undeveloped. There was nothing here. The roads were not here. None of these buildings were here. We landed the helicopter and I negotiated with the royal family at the time, and we reached a landing to buy this land, right? We've sunk over $150 million in here, right? For a start, right? And that includes the land value. I would say that we're probably looking at something north of $250 million in enterprise value. This is the only family-centric entertainment beach in Lagos, full stop.
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
And it's an entertainment center. We get about 20,000 people within this ecosystem every single week.
20,000 people?
It's a mixed-use beach. We employ over 2,500 people here directly. Nigeria has some of the most entrepreneurial people in the world, some of the most hardworking and sincere, some of the happiest people. So, it's a joy to be here. Yeah. I've traveled to 69 different countries, and I wouldn't swap this place for anywhere else.
Imagine destroying a business of $250 million in Nigeria by somebody who simply is a business partner to Chief Bola Tinubu. Well, time will tell, and Nigerians are watching. Well, let's leave this very part. We are still going to get to the administration because there is news that is coming out that the NSA is about to make so much money. The NSA, chaired by Nuhu Ribadu that we just mentioned. But let's get to because people are waiting for this news from Rivers State. So the Rivers State people, there is so much confusion that is hit the Rivers State amid the ongoing crisis as pro-Fubara lawmakers elect, Victor Jumbo as the new Rivers Assembly Speaker. Well, I think that Fubara, before we get to what they did say, that Fubara is actually hitting back. It seems like he has woken up from his slumber and has seen that if care is not taken, that he might even lose his seat.
Well, personally, I just want to be the person waving a white flag in Rivers State. I don't know if they get to see this, but at this point, I think it just keeps, the drama keeps, getting longer, and, I just think they need to call it quits at this point. This whole drama of we're going to put our people, now he has put somebody that is loyal to him because the speaker of the speaker, current speaker, is you know, a pro-Wike supporter, obviously. So he's trying to put his own person. So it's going to be him versus my own, like is a we us versus them kind of situation.
Let me kind of give you a direction on this so that you understand. First of all, this very peace pact that is engineered by Chief Bola Tinubu, he, from the onset, he said he's going to abide by that. Okay. And by so doing, he actually brought back all the commissioners that he previously resigned. He brought all of them back. Since all of that, you know what has been happening, which we have been broadcasting. Now, this very same assembly, you know, he kind of gave them a free hand to let them go ahead. He did not disturb them at all. But they keep hitting at him. And now just yesterday, APC announced and tell them that they're going to invoke some certain powers if they did not impeach him. And what are you going to do if you're in Fubara's shoe? You will stand and watch them and leave one members that is unconstitutionally constituted to impeach you, and you wait until you now go to court to come and start re-amending. The best thing to do is to put the right people that are supposed to be there. Whether they are 5 people that are legitimate, he puts them there. And that's why he make mention that everything that, if he wants them to stay, he leaves them to stay, you understand? Some people misread that maybe it is unconstitutional for him to say so or something like that. But he do know that those 27 defected lawmakers are sitting at that very place unconstitutionally. Then he knows that. And that's why he has brought the right people to do what? To protect the interests of the Rivers people. I go by that.
Well, like, I think I totally get that. I said I was waving a white flag because I meant that the Rivers people deserve to have a political space or a political ecosystem that is not readed by all this drama. So basically, I was just saying that I understand Fubara's point of view because this is coming from somebody that is trying to probably do a third term from, you know, in a way, like, right? So I understand him fighting for what's rightfully his. But at the same time, people are just caught. I think Rivers State is just caught in this whole political drama because the instability is hindering the legislative process of this State House of Assembly. The fact that we're having different factions and different drama within the River State, you know, legislative space,
disturbing the governance.
They are disrupting the process of governance. And I'm saying I'm waving a white flag because the people deserve to actually reap the dividends of democracy without going through all this drama. So I'm just calling for would I say peace accord, saying that the last peace accord they did not end well. But I'm just saying they should go back to the drawing board and everybody should just allow River State be River State. We need to stop all these whole external forces. The people that have ruled should accept that they were past governors and let it be like that. The whole idea of wanting to control a state even when you are away from it is what I don't subscribe to. Okay,
before I not say peace, I not say how much they do me, but before you go bring that your own with how you take think and how you take film, make we hear how the Rivers people take talk and because they talk for Arise and talk for channels, how they feel about the whole thing. But before we go hear from Rivers people, make we even hear that very Rivers State people, the Rivers new state within the current speaker. Yes, will replace Davison here. Make we hear as he takes speak the grammar for that side.
You will agree with me that after the House last sat on 13th of December 2023 and adjourned synodically, there has been an avalanche of legislative rascality perpetrated by the 25 former members of the 10th River State House of Assembly, led by the former Speaker, Right Honorable Martins Chike Ameule. These former members, being fully aware of the provision of Section 1091 sub G of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, defected from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressive Party, APC, and on 11th of December 2023, consequently, the Right Honorable Edison Ogeren-Ehie, on the 13th of December 2023, wrote to the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, declaring the seats of the 25 lawmakers vacant, in line with Section 1091G and 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999. The executive arm, the judiciary, and the general public are hereby called upon to disregard every purported laws enacted by the illegal assembly, as they all amount to nothing, and they are exercised in futility. Furthermore, this House will want to most respectfully urge and call on His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, Grand Service Star of Rivers State, to desist forthwith from further dealings with the 25 lawmakers in whatever guise. Those members are merely floating and do not have any landing ground or anywhere to bat their ship since their defection to the All Progressive Congress on the 11th day of December 2023. This House is the legal and constitutionally recognized House by virtue of the defection and is ready to receive correspondence from and work with His Excellency.
I want to further warn that if His Excellency ever have any dealing with those former members, that we, the 10th Assembly, the original members of the 10th Assembly, so we have no choice than to raise our hammers, and you all know what it means, to commence an impeachment proceedings against him.
So much happening in Rivers State. Please, I know say your mother they do muy since you don't hear all the things we be said and talk. What do you take? How you think now as all these wasbos where they go in between the governor, the House of Assembly members, and all of these things now, which people you think say the thing that affect mostly for Rivers State?
To be honest, people wey this thing that affect na the masses, na the people wey dey there, na the citizens this thing they affect because their kasala done too much. Today, tomorrow, Fubara, today, tomorrow, Wike. I think they should just take a break from all of these things. They should stop all these their drama, stop all these their talking, all these their gbas, because if they allow the governor wey be Fubara make him rule well, now the people go benefit. But with all this their wahala, tomorrow talk, today they fight, tomorrow they quarrel, may they just calm down because this thing they affect everybody wey dey for that state. Because just as they talk, I'm saying if elephant they fight, you go they affect the ground. The
two big elephants.
Exactly.
You go affect the ground, now they suffer.
Now they suffer.
There one woman will talk like that myself for TV. Make we even listen as he take talk, and the people will be say, now then they're resident for that River State. How then take talk and make we just listen to what she talk.
Clear, and it was very clear to people like me and the Elders Forum, and we have said it all along and we will continue to say it, that the president, though the president of Nigeria was elected along with the governor of Rivers State, the president was elected on the platform of the APC, and the governor of Rivers State was elected by the people of Rivers State and people that are not River State people but live and work in the state. And so in terms of being elected, there is no difference between the president and the governor is representing the people of River State. Now, the fact that the president took that step and asked the governor to sign this document along with his deputy, as we said then and we continue to say, is unconstitutional. There is no law that allows the president to declare 8 points or 10 points or 1 point resolution to a crisis in Rivers State that will spill out of Rivers State, go into the Niger Delta, and spill into the federal capital territory and the federal government. Why do I say so? Because all the monies that is needed by Nigeria is coming from the Niger Delta region. A high chunk of it is coming from Rivers State. Therefore, it is very important that not just the president, that all peoples, particularly journalists, are very clear on this issue and not mislead the people of Rivers State and not mislead the people of Nigeria who don't understand the pattern of politics in Rivers State, one, and don't understand the dangers, if you like, of continuing to allow this to fester. The FCT minister is no longer the governor of Rivers State, and therefore he cannot hold sway. He cannot continue to have people who claim to be his supporters that are opposed to the progress and the governance of Rivers State. If they want to do that, they should go and support him in Abuja. He needs all the help he can get. But to stay in Rivers State and throw the state into this turmoil that is going to consume the Niger Delta by the security and otherwise, and the economy of Nigeria, is dangerous, and it has to stop. And that's what we keep warning over and over again. Like Saregbe said this morning, what elders can see sitting down, that people like people who claim to be supporters of Nyesom Wike cannot see standing up. There is danger in Rivers State, and it has to stop. Let it not be said tomorrow that people did not speak up. We have political elders and leaders in Rivers State. We, the owners of Rivers State, are cautioning that what is going on in Rivers State in the name of politics is not acceptable. It will remain unacceptable to the owners of Rivers State.
Kyog Briggs is the convener of the Niger Delta people. Well, so much coming out from Rivers State, and we'll look at tomorrow to bring more that is coming out from there. But before we go, let me also bring to your attention that this 0.5% security levy is going to attract about 415 billion naira monthly to NSA's office. 415 billion. But that will be coming. We'll be bringing you the details about that tomorrow. But again, our time don't they give us signal, and signal make we begin the carry our car come off for studio. But before we do, I will not fail to inform Obidient and well-meaning Nigerians of the ongoing registration of all the Obidient Family Cooperative Society across the 774 local governments in Nigeria. If you have not joined an Obidient Cooperative Society in your local government, please ask how you can be able to do that. Join Obedience, connect with Obedience in your communities, in your local government, in your wards, and become an entity. Get registered with the state government and have one voice, so that the support we are talking about to come to you to doing business, survival, and all of that will come your way. Because we have people who are interested in supporting the Obidient Family Cooperative Society, which is a business and a welfare platform for the Obedience. It is happening in Kanu. About 10 local governments are being registered. We have in Abuja, Buhari Area Council registered. In Cross River State, we have about 13 local governments all registered. In those states, we have about 10 local governments. Find out whichever state you are. click the link that is on the WhatsApp platform and join our community platform, where you will find different states that are there. You'll find your local government, you migrate to your local government, and you join force. Each local government that has not been registered, you can make us know if your cooperative and the people of the obedience in your local government are not able to source of funds to register with the state government as a welfare multipurpose cooperative society. Then you let us know in the community platform so that we can be able to see how we can get a financial support across to you and that local government to get it registered. Obedience must have a voice across the in Nigeria. That must happen. Please check the link on the comment section, on the description of this very video to join the obedience. And if you are in diaspora, support the project, whether by donating for the payments of this registration with the state governments, is to creating an identity for the obedience welfare in particular, because that is what our own principal, His Excellency P2B, is going about doing good. We need to support the obedience in their localities, in their nooks and crannies in Nigeria, when they come together and form it. So if you are in diaspora and you need to support, or you are in Nigeria and you need to support financially, there is inside the description, there's a cooperative account that is there, where whatever token you have, you could donate in there. It goes directly to the registrations of this cooperative society with their state government, but registration with the government, getting an entity that is recognized by the states. Until tomorrow when we come your way again, bye for now.